push sticks. Everyone needs them. Some people need one of these. Ha! Big boy push stick. Push sticks. I am currently making push sticks. Welcome back, Megas. My name is Luke, and welcome back to Garage Mahal. This is the garage workshop. Primarily this one. This thing, I am gonna say you should have something like similar to this. It works great. It's just, you know, I stumble upon these things. I do a bunch of different work, and then, you know, you just stumble upon things that work. I mean, I've seen other people use these things. I made this quite a while ago, but this thing works great. I'm gonna show you on the jointer, because this is for the jointer. But it just takes a lot of the trouble out of joining the boards, as you can push through and you can push down on this on top of the board, and it just makes it so easy. So I'm currently making some of these. So I've just got a bunch of 2x4s, 8-foot 2x4s. I'm gonna cut these in half. I'm gonna go ahead and mill this. I'm gonna cut it, and then I'm gonna mill it, and I'm gonna show you how amazing this thing is, because this thing is an absolute game changer. Everyone, I'm gonna recommend you should totally have one. Long-term amateur tip number 1. I got this, I picked this up sometime, and it's an absolute game changer. I mean, it works great. It gives you full face protection, as well as you know, this gas mask stuff. It works really good. It works really good. You know what I mean? Put that back on. Okay. Let's cut the wood. Cut the wood good. I got this. It's kind of a handy saw. All right. I'm gonna cut 4-foot pieces now. 4-footers. Okay, I've sort of sorted this pile. Usually you want the, you know, the grain running away, because the cutter's spinning this way, so it cuts. And also, if there's a crown in the board, you want that down, because it's a lot easier to take that out on the jointer than to, if you cut it this way, it's a lot harder, and it takes one side down a lot thinner. So that's why I've oriented all these. So hopefully, you know, sometimes it's hard to see, especially on this pine, but you know, you want the grain running this way. I'll put this away for now, because you won't be able to hear me. But yeah, I'm recommending something like this, because it's nice. You can work in the shop a long time and not be eating all the sawdust, you know. This, I just want to show you how well this works. I had this set up for cutting wider boards, but you know, I could bring that in, but it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to run these boards like normal, and then I'm going to use this at the end, and you'll see it just makes it really nice and easy to push through, and you can put pressure down on this, so it just kind of controls the board nicely. So let's cut some, see how that goes. I've got all my wood milled. Hit a couple of nails because some of this was reclaimed, but hopefully it didn't hurt the carbide cutters too much. Here's so anyway, they came out nice and straight, flat. Gets rid of the round edges. It's kind of a lot of milling for this, but if I did more, I would pick out nicer 2x4s probably and run more of them at a time. So I'm sitting here thinking, you know, how to cut the groove in this, and you can set up a router. You could do a plunge or like a stop thing, but for me, I think the best thing is going to be to set up a dado stack and just channel out the material, and then I'll probably end up having to cut a block and maybe just put pieces back in, just because it's going to be quicker than doing all that. Oh, yep, shoot. Way too loose. Let's try that again. I had the bigger, this bigger chipper makes like full 3/4. Put the smaller one back in. It should be close. There's a couple of shims that are attached to these outer ones, but that fits pretty nice. This one fits snug, and then this is the other material. It's a hair. It's actually a hair thinner, but I could use some epoxy or something. This measures. It says the same, 0.7. Yeah. Anyway, that should be fine. Use a little epoxy glue if necessary, but shit, you could even hot glue those in. I've been on such a hot glue kick. But let's see. This now, I just want to make sure it's centered. It's 1.25 inches. 1.25 inches. That's pretty close. Go back just a tiny touch. Now I'm gonna cut some filler strips, which is, I've got the width, should be close or a little tight. The width of this material are gonna be, that might be a hair too tight. anyway, right there. And then, so that's gonna be the width. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and make the height the same, just to make it easy, so it's kind of a square piece. So I'm gonna cut some of these, and then all I gotta do is cut my length, which I think I'm gonna make like 20 inches or 22 inches. Okay. All right. Okay, okay. Here now is the fun part. Get to use the radial arm saw, square one side, and I got a stop set at 22 inches. So that'll be my piece. And then all I gotta do is cut the push stick to fit, and then add a stick, which will stick up a little. It'll be kind of like a handle. So go ahead and cut those. Okay, well that took, as usual, it always takes a lot more than you think to, do something, but this is basically what it's going to be. I got this inserted in here. These pieces will fit, and they'll be a little bit, not much, but a little bit proud of the surface, which is fine because I tested, I didn't want it too high, maybe just a little is fine. That'll get quickly sanded. So these are getting cut. You should always keep tape measure and pencil at all times. Okay, this piece here is 9 and 15/16. So that's those. I could put those in ahead of time, put these in, that way I wouldn't have to straighten this. And then the only other thing, before I glue these, I'm gonna pop this back out like a 1/4 inch round over, which is what these have. So that'll be it. So it'll be, oh, and that's not it. And then I gotta add a piece to the bottom, which is just gonna be glued on. And on the last one, I used a soft wood in case, you try to joint some thin material. Usually you won't joint anything less than like 3/8. So probably make it a 1/2 inch, same width, and then just cut. I'm just gonna cut it, it'll be like 2.5 inches or so. And then that just gets glued. That'll get glued on. And then that'll be it. That's a finished jointer push stick. Okay. Alrighty then. I got all the parts. Finally got all the parts. That took a while. I'm gonna go ahead and put one of these together. So I'm using a couple of these first. This is the regular plywood one, but on the next ones I'll have to sand the finish back or do something. But I just want to get a couple of these together. So I'm gonna glue it and hammer it in. Anyway, that's in there. Put this one. This should set my distance. Table saw. I should do this on the workbench. Okay, that's in there. And then the next thing, I just cut a bunch of these, and I cut these out of cedar because I wanted a softwood here, and also they're about 3/8 of an inch. I was gonna go with a half, but this way, if you cut thin material, or if it, less chance of eating this away. So that's what I went with. So do that. Stuck on there. And hold it. If you give it a second, it'll kind of stay a little better. Maybe put a lot on there. Too much glue, probably. Use these. Flush. Decent amount of pressure should be. I'm not going to go too crazy with it, but that should be fine. It's flush all the way around. So once that dries, you'll have a completed piece. Jointer push stick. So I could give it extra squeeze. Should be good. I'll end up rounding that over a little bit, doing a quick sand, and then that is there it is. I'll let that dry. I'll do another one and let that dry, and then we'll finish one up. I'm just trying to show how amazing this looks. It works good. This big thing even works for small pieces. It cradles the